From the art of the deal to keeping it real. Live from the Simply Vegas studios, it's The Power Move with John Gafford. Back again, post-Halloween. Everybody had a good Halloween, man. Everybody showed up. Still here today. Welcome to The Power Move. My name is John Gafford. I am your host. To the left of me, Colt, the Bulgarian mongoose, Amidan.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, mongoose? How are you?
Oh, good. It's November. It's
Christmas time. Time for Mariah.
It is. And with us also always on the couch is the counselor, Chris Connel. How are you, counselor?
Good. I didn't eat a single piece of Halloween candy this year.
How did you pull that off?
You know, since I have my own office,
yeah,
right? I have my own building. I don't bring in candy. I don't supply it. I have no kids in my neighborhood, like none, literally zero. I live in a small neighborhood that's like a small community. And I didn't go to my old office. My old office had it on the bowl. I'd walk by and take one. It's terrible policy.
But your kid went out. You don't rate her candy?
Well, no, but she got it last night.
Oh, you just haven't been around it yet.
I haven't been around it yet.
Yeah.
So I've eaten zero pieces of Halloween candy.
Thus far.
I might sleep
Snickers with my coffee today. It was quite delightful.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Colt, what's your top 5 Halloween candies? What do you got?
Ooh, ready for this one?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we debated this morning. Some answers were surprising in my household.
Reese's?
Yeah.
Number 1.
Reese's.
Number 1.
Yeah, that's number 5.
That's not for me. That's 5 for you?
Yeah, that's number 5.
It's in the top 5.
It's
whatever.
2 for me. Yeah.
My number 1's going to shock you.
Black licorice
candy
is what I'm guessing.
corn.
It's not human.
No, it's a good one, but it'll shock you. So number 5, I'd go Reese's. Number 4, Twix.
Okay.
Solid.
Number 3, Skittles. Even though you can't tell the difference between the colors.
They're all the same
Take
flavor.
a bag of M&Ms over
Skittles.
Skittles.
Number 2, Snickers. And number 1, whatchamacallits.
I do love a
bad.
Can you get a whatchamacallit candy though?
Yes, we just got it last night. My kid did. Thanks to whoever.
And
a full thing of Oreos. Somebody gave out a full thing that you buy at the store.
Aggressive.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go for Halloween candy. I'm gonna go. The Reese's are in there.
Yep.
The Snickers is in there. I'm gonna go a little off script. Number 1 for me is Kit Kat. It's always Kit Kat.
Kit Kat's solid.
I love the Kit
But
Kats.
Kit Kat, Twix, I mean, those are all good.
Overrated.
And then here's the one I thought. Here's the left plate. The only time I ever eat them is during Halloween because the only time you ever see them, the 100 grand.
So
I love.
I literally was just about to say 100 grand. That is one of the most
Twix
I
out,
love
100 grand's in.
underrated candy bar.
100 grand. No,
100 grand.
they don't
forget
make
about
it.
that.
You don't see it that much.
Except for Halloween.
But here's the real question.
Yeah.
That's all. Everybody in this whole debate right now just took the easy road.
Did we?
Let's say 5 favorite Halloween candies, and only one of them can be quote unquote chocolate bars. What are the other 4? Those other pilots.
Okay, I got my number 1 there.
More.
Nerds.
Okay,
I go right number 1 to Nerds.
pretty fancy.
I love the little box of Nerds.
That's cool.
Man.
I like the Airheads.
Chocolate bars, Nerds, Airheads. Yeah,
Airheads
I like
are
a
good.
banana. I like that
Jolly
penicillin
Rancher.
taste for some
Little
reason.
Jolly Rancher's good. Oh,
The Blow Pop is always solid.
Stick-Its
What
or
about
what?
those?
What were those?
Do you remember those
called?
houses that would give out the yellow
The dots.
suckers?
Oh yeah, just a straight yellow
just the
sucker.
straight yellows. Who's making orange and yellow
Suckers.
anything?
Well,
No.
You know what I saw today?
Those are sugar free too.
Yeah. All right.
Like that's who that person is.
You know what I
Give it
did
the
see
sugar-free
on
sucker.
Twitter? Somebody's like, this is the most impressive run ever. The wafers, the candy wafers. They've been around for 175 years. Do you know what I'm talking about? They are.
Yeah.
I'll show you the. Keep talking. I'll show
But
you
anyway,
the picture.
that's a good little good little left turn there on the
Yeah, it was. You know,
5
today-
chocolate bars. Too easy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But today on the podcast, what is what we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about planning to win. Planning to win is what we're going to talk about today. Because I got to tell you right now, if you are in the real estate industry, if you're one of those people, there's some fear and doubt running through the industry right now.
Smelling blood and water.
Yeah, I mean, even the best people are worried. I'm talking to some top people in the industry that are calling me. What are you doing? What's going on with you? What are you doing? And some of our top producers are worried. And I had a conversation with somebody today, and they said, what are you doing? Because I'm worried about what's going on. I'm starting to look at all my expenses when I go to the restaurant. I'm looking at the bill. I'm just making sure. I'm not used to doing that. And I said, well, that doesn't make you fearful. It makes you smart. Because here's the thing. In times of great prosperity in business, top line profits or top line sales mask a lot of problems up and down your financial statement. They just mask them. So when things are good, you tend to just Everything's good.
Run with it.
And, we found some problems in some of our businesses that are just, for example, we had to let our IT company go from one of our businesses yesterday. And when we let them go, I told the person that was letting them go to tell them exactly this. You have been the absolute benefactor of our complete carelessness.
Yep.
So before you even try to justify anything about what you've charged us over the last year, understand that we are highly aware you are the benefactor of our carelessness. And so, don't even try to renegotiate
What a
now.
scathing, what an amazing.
It was.
That's a great
it
line.
was. It was.
What do you say from? How do you recover?
You can't. You can't.
Just
We
hang up,
paid
say thanks.
$52,000 to an IT company
Emotional.
to set up
nothing.
emails and laptops. That's batshit crazy.
Whoops.
Batshit
But
crazy.
like you said, I've worked.
But top line sales are
Yeah.
good. Not to cut you off. Top line
yeah.
sales. It's you just don't.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's
You know.
I worked for a company and they would be like, we know what we're doing. We're number one. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say who it was or what it was. It was for a sporting event, right? They had the number one person in that sport in a Hall of Famer, top 3 of every greatness. It's like, no. You just been around because of this person. Mm-hmm. You are throwing money out left and right, doing stupid marketing, stupid stuff, but you don't realize that when you're in great times.
When you got Tom Brady, all of a sudden everybody looks like a genius.
Yeah. Yeah. So today what I want to talk about is if you're at a place where you're a little worried about what's going on with the economy, you're a little scared, this is the time to start really planning to be successful in the long run. Because without a good plan, one of my favorite quotes, if you don't know where you're headed or if you have no destination, to a ship with no destination, no wind is favorable. Seneca. There you go. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth. But
No port.
No port is favorable. If you do not know to which port you sail, no wind is favorable.
That's right.
Jesus.
We got there.
We got there eventually. Took a minute. If you're taking notes,
Seneca's rolling in his dusty, bony grave.
Sorry about that. If you're taking notes, sorry. Speaking of taking notes, not to change subject, but I must have watched that meme with the guy taking notes with the typewriter about 300
Oh, that was
times.
lovely.
The best is when it gets to the end of the line,
Ding.
it does the ding, ding.
But I mean,
For those who know what we're talking about, there's, I guess, a professor that didn't allow laptops in a big auditorium type classroom. So some guy brought like a 1950s typewriter and was typing his notes. Ching. Would it go?
I think
I
I'm
mean-
the last class to have to take typewriting in school.
Yeah. No, they all take typing. Are you kidding me?
No, typewriter.
Oh, typewriter.
I had a typewriter.
Yeah.
Next year,
Oh,
after
we were
I was
on,
a computer.
I'm from Saskatchewan. I'm older than you, and we were on a word processor, Colt.
Yeah.
No, I had to take it.
Do you remember those games? The early computer
Oh,
games?
yeah. Oregon Trail.
Amazing.
No, Oregon Trail was
Died
on
of
that same
dysentery.
thing. But you would have typing games, and it would be like, if you get, like you have to do this before the time runs out, and you get moved up.
Right.
Yeah, it was just how to make like math games and typing games fun.
I'm still a 4-finger
Shout out
pecker.
to Canada's.
Are you?
That is a talent that I wish I
Are you
had.
serious?
Yeah, dude. I seriously. I got
As much
a
as
multi-finger
you
peck.
really.
No, but that's still typing. You're still doing this.
Yeah, but it's
No,
a,
hunt and peck is this.
no, but it's multi. I mean, I still look at the keys when I type. It's multi.
No.
It's
The only thing I
multifaceted.
do bad is I don't do shift
Not a
with the
typer.
opposite finger.
I'm
That's
not a
the only
typer.
thing.
I wish I was a typer, but I'm not. But I'm not a typer. So, again, if you're somebody that's looking to plan to win, I want to talk about some things that just stories and things that we've had and things that will make it successful, or things that can hopefully make you successful as you go forward as you do this. So, the first thing that I would say is if you're running any type of a business, and if you're in real estate especially, it's you incorporated. You're it. You're it. The first thing you need to understand is cash flow in times of downturn is more important than profitability. Let me say that again. Cash flow is more important than profitability. For example, yesterday, somebody, one of our businesses, all of our businesses depend on cash flow because cash flow is how you pay people. It's how you pay your rent. You've got to have money moving in and out of your business to make it go. And somebody offered us a deal yesterday, one of our purveyors, because I guess they were feeling the crunch too. And they said, hey, look, we'll give you a discounted rate if you prepay for the next 6 months. And I said back to them, I really appreciate that offer, but it makes more sense for me to pay you over time than it does to part with a large amount of cash right now.
Yeah, obviously it depends on your situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good. Liquidity has a benefit that's hard to quantify from an economics point of view. Mm-hmm. right? Because in economics, one of the things that shocks people the most is that successful startups oftentimes fail because of cash
They don't
liquidity
have money.
issues.
Yeah.
Even though they're profitable, even though you look at them and go over time, this is going to be an absolute home run. They do this thing where if you have a net 90 pay period, but you got to pay
get there.
suppliers
Yeah.
in 30, you're going to have liquidity issues, and creditors can force you into like solvency, receivership.
Well, you look at real estate,
Yeah.
right? Real estate is not a right now. If you close a deal today, you're going to get paid for that in 45 days. You need to plan accordingly and understand what you really have. Yeah. Looking today at our business, I look at how many deals. I don't care how many deals we closed. I care how many deals we're gonna close, because I'm not budgeting for what I did last month. I'm budgeting for the money that I have coming in, coming forward.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are slow to pivot and slow to make changes and slow to make adjustments to their time, because they're going off what they did last month. It doesn't matter what you did last month. It matters what's coming down the pike. It's like when you drive somewhere, you look out the front windshield, not the rear view.
Although, knowing what you did last summer, John, may haunt you later.
I see what you did there. Oh, but hang on a second. Hang on. There it is.
There it is. I
Dad,
like it.
get out of here.
But do you think
get the
that's
canned
just
laughter for that.
because
I get canned
people?
laughter.
Do you think that's because people haven't been through a downturn? Like a lot of
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
residential agents.
Yes.
It is. They haven't seen, the market hasn't moved like this since 2007. We haven't really gone through this. It's been kind of screaming in the right direction ever since.
I'm 42. Think about it. Started in 07, right?
Yeah.
So 25 years ago, I would be 27. I was in law school,
Yeah.
right? Or I was coming into law school. I moved from a different country, so I didn't necessarily feel the pinch in the same way because it was still different in Canada than it was here.
Yeah.
But when the bottom fell out, I got the benefit of being in a different country.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can always talk about that too. That different markets sometimes have different, things. But
Do you guys feel like this is coming quicker, or just because of social media and because of the ability to talk?
No. I think, well, first of all, let me clarify. I think a lot of things, I think downturns are, I think we need downturns.
Oh, 100%.
We need, all markets are
Every
cyclical,
9
everything's
years,
cyclical. And
right.
right now we need a downturn because there's a lot of people, especially in the real estate space, that do what we do that shouldn't be doing what we do.
well, not even to get political, but you shouldn't have had the 12 years. And this goes over different parties, administrations.
Yeah, I get it.
So you shouldn't have unfettered growth for that long. That's actually unhealthy.
Yeah.
You need to deflate bubbles before they burst. And the problem is they go, and it's political suicide to not do quantitative easing, increase rates. I hate to sound like something that nobody wants to hear, but I like increased rates. It does slow down things because it gets untenable and it blows up, right? It gets way too over its own skis.
Believe me, it's historically for the last 150, 200 years, 9 years.
Yeah, you got
every 9
every
years.
9.
So when it's way past that,
It's not good.
time to bring it back. When money's free and inflation's going to kill everything, it's the responsible choice to make. So again, it's not a promotion or anything.
Did you just imply that people want to be responsible?
People don't want to be responsible. That's why it's political suicide, right? To ever go, oh no, we need to do this. But it does make sense. And I'm not cheering for people to be going through hard times, but it's like, if you want to lose weight, you got to cut eating foods. You know what I mean? Like there's trade-offs.
There's no question, but there's also advantages. For example, you look at that belt, those treasury bonds I sent you guys on Friday, which took me 2.5 hours to get bought.
So
let's get that or not?
zero sum. I tried for just a minute and then it just kept crashing. And so I said to myself, how much do I bill an hour?
Yeah.
No, I was actually.
You ruined my day when you said that. So effectively.
Yeah, but it's not. You can't look at it that way because you're sitting around doing nothing, right?
I was watching football.
Exactly.
If you're watching football,
And it became a mission to get that done. But yeah, the Treasury was offering bonds at 9.65%.
I went on that was 9.62, not to be pedantic.
Whatever. 6.2, 6.5.
No, I'm just saying.
Trust me.
I'm just wondering
I've been telling that lie for a million years. 6.5, 6.2. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
There's even treasuries for 5-6% out there right now, which is interesting because I watched a guy that he goes, why would I buy this building at 4% where I can do this? And he's like, well, he tried to fight and finally said, we're just taking international buyers at this time. So it'll be interesting to see where these fall right in the next year. Who knows? Like it could be great. It could be bad. It could be average, right? No one knows right now.
Yeah. I mean, look at how low cap rates are.
Yeah, which they shouldn't be, right?
2 and 3 and these things are just
Good
nuts. So it's bad. It is ridiculous when you think about these deals where they're saying, well, I'm going to park at this 3% money somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to park my 1% that I can borrow at in a 3% construction deal or something.
Well, it's arbitrage.
I mean, it is arbitrage, but not now. The value of those bonds just drastically decreases when you buy them that low, and you can't sell them.
No, that's true. So let's talk about how to plan to win. Look, we can talk about what is, but we got to talk about how to win through what we're doing. So again, it's a good time to go through and look at what you're doing and rip it down and start over if you need to. Nothing is off the table. Nothing should be overlooked. Mm-hmm. Every line item on, if you're running a business or if you're UA Incorporated, whatever it is, every line item on that P&L has got to be within question. And you've got to really ask yourself this. For example, I'll give you a great example, right? So I've got about 100 of our agents that I'm coaching in this private group right now. And I'm seeing the success they're having and things that are being successful. And it's amazing some of the basic stuff that comes out of those conversations that I'm hearing through the success stories. And one of our team leaders grabbed me today and was asking me about what I'm doing and how this is going, this and that. And I told him, I said, look, you need to reduce your lead flow to your agents, to your team members. And he was like, what? And I said, conventional wisdom when things get tougher, not a lot of people are buying, is to increase your lead flow because you're trying to get more people in the net and then find the ones that are. But what we found is by decreasing the lead flow a little bit, people are getting called more. They're getting worked more. They're getting the story as to why their situation is positive to purchase, instead of just, because I'm getting all these leads coming in, I'm just going to hop to the next one and try to just pan for gold, right? Just hit the first one. Now you're actually, now they're actually having to craft these relationships and craft these situations that are turning into more deals. So I'm actually spending less money in leads than I was 3 months ago, and I'm getting better results because my agents are working them harder.
Quality over quantity.
It's just a different mindset. And it's amazing that just getting back to those basics and looking at that, because when I looked at the P&L, I didn't cut because I wanted to save money. I cut because I wanted the more focus on what was happening. Because focus is a huge thing, which is there.
When you, when times get leaner, you start using the whole cow. You know what I mean? You start making soup out of the bone. So
yes, you do.
Like there's a lot of value there that often gets scrapped over. Not every meal has to be a fillet.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best part of the cow?
The fillet is not. What do you mean? It's not even close. It's filet mignon.
People love the tongue. The cheek.
Tongue is delicious.
Cheek's
wonderful
good.
Meat.
Just saying. Sorry.
Hey, here's I don't know how much this falls into it, but it's something that I benefited from personally, very much so. Mm-hmm. In times of going into recession, I was thankfully in law school and getting my MBA.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of people out there, right, that are in sales that are chasing this stuff because they've never really worked on their own skill set.
Yeah.
Right. They jump out. They have all this time now, whether you like it or not. So what do you do? How do you make, omelets out of broken eggs? What you do is you try to self-improve in some way too.
Yeah. And I'm also going to say that you look at it in, this is a time when, look, especially in real estate, man, any moron could have done our job and had some moniker of success over the last 3 years. It's just throw a rock and hit somebody who wants to buy with 2% money, and there you go. Sure. But now it takes skill. And if what you are doing is not working, you need to find someone to model. Back in the day, some of the best businesses that I've had, if you're planning to win or you're planning to do something else, if you're planning to open a new business into this, you're planning to do something different, find something to model that works. Burger King did not come up with Burger King. They copied McDonald's and changed the name. Right. That's what they did. They saw that works. Let's copy that and get it done. Now, for me, you look at the insurance company we owned back in the day. We did not decide we want to open an insurance company and then figure out how to make it work. My sister went and did a consulting job on a big insurance company in Dallas. She was just consulting them and saw their business model and saw that, this is before Medicare Part D and before, seniors had to get drug coverage and old people had to pay $1 million for drugs. She saw that these people were experts in getting seniors free medicine if they bought their insurance as a service. So that was a model that at that time was very successful. Nobody was doing it in Florida. We ripped their model completely off, brought it to Florida, just did it.
Yep.
So I saw how this business worked and just stole it.
Yeah.
It's effectively what we do. Like, this ain't the time to be trying to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? You need to be using tried and true techniques in whatever business you're in.
Lamborghini used to work for Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly right. There you go.
And that's what you've got to be careful on, who you allow to be on your marketing list, on your social media, because people will steal stuff from you.
Yeah, but do you really give a shit? Like, do you really care? Honestly,
I do, because guess what? I was doing a marketing thing, and all of a sudden, bam, a year later, I see the same doing it. I'm like, fuck, are they on my list,
bro?
Because they moved the thing, and not that it's like a big thing, but like, you will see stuff like that.
Go ahead and bite my shit. I'll bite your shit.
I get that.
There are companies out there, and I used to get so angry by it, man. I used to get so irritated. I think I posted a thing one time of the dude that the McDowell's thing, whatever it was from Coming to America, when he's sitting there with the McDonald's thing, and I actually made like Simply Vegas on the manual he was looking at. Like no, they're Simply Vegas. We're Simply Vegas, it was like whatever. Just the blatant ripoff of so much of the stuff that we did, because I do like to think that I'm a little bit of a trailblazer in our industry with things that our company has done. And it used to bother me so much when people would rip us off. And then I kind of came to the conclusion, which is this.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
It's a great form of flattery. And, number one. And number two is, you can steal my stuff. You can steal a lot of the things that we do, but you're never going to be us, because you can't steal that. And at the end of the day, with our companies, the secret sauce of what makes them great.
Right.
And that's not an ego play. Don't listen to that and be like, oh my God, that guy's such an egotistical prick. No, whatever you do, like, you are your own secret sauce to whatever you do, and nobody can take that from you.
Yep.
So there you go. That's kind of that thought. So you can't be mad. And like, even though
no, you can't be mad, but you can also be, I don't know. I looked at it a little differently.
Believe me, if you're marketing to the same people understand who's original and who's not.
People are going to know who cribs what.
They know.
I get that. But, yeah.
Yeah, if you're just taking off the crib sheet and writing the essay on
No. Let me ask you this. When you talk about now is a good time also to rework your business plan. It's a good time.
Now always is a good time to rework.
Always.
Well,
I was going to get to that. I do mine quarterly. We are quarterly.
I mean, your classes with your people yearly, right?
Everybody on my team, we do quarterly business plans. And the reason being is if you don't do a business plan, I'm going to give you some advice with that, which is we do a one-page business plan. And the reason you want to do a one-page business plan, now if you're trying to get funding, they're going to say like, you need like a 32-page business plan with an executive summary and projections and all this. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about your operational business plan that incorporates your marketing. Right. That's what I'm talking about. And have it be one page, man. Ours are so simple and so easy. This is what a good business plan essentially is. And I can tell you in less than 3 minutes what makes a good business plan, in my opinion. And you can welcome down whatever you want. Number one, it's got a vision on it, which says where I want to be. It's defined by an exact point in the future, a snapshot of your life or your company's life in the future, and has a date on it. By this date, this is happening. So you know where you're trying to get to. Below that is the mission statement of your business as to who, why, what, when, and where, that you do what you do. Below that are the financial goals that accompany that vision. How am I going to pay for that vision? What does that translate to money? And then I pick 3 strategies, no more than 3, that are going to get me to those financial goals. Each one of those strategies should stand on its own and equal that amount of money. Because now if you technically work all of them hard enough, you should be 3x your goal, which makes it going to be impossible to miss your goal. All right. Now, underneath those strategies, you have an action plan, which are actionable steps. Each step that goes through that should be translatable to a daily calendar of events. So when you wake up in the morning on Tuesday, you know exactly what you're doing today.
Very good.
Exactly what you're doing.
Very good breakdown.
And that's it. That's
real estate business, right?
Yeah, for real estate.
Like you said, like we have a company, we have a separate company. It's a device.
Call it widget. We'll go with widget.
We'll call it a widget. Okay, it's a widget business. I should give it a shout out anyway. But anyway, it's a widget business, and it has a thing, and that business plan has all these things because you have who are your competitors, what are the numbers, what are the marketing demographics, who are the major suppliers of this widget, who does the. So that whole thing is a full program,
right?
And that doesn't need to be update it all the time
because it doesn't change.
Because it doesn't really change.
But the operational, like we're going to go social, like for example, to sell your widget, I'm going to sell it through social channels. I want to go radio direct. I want to go media. Those would be your 3 strategies to acquire new customers.
Right.
And understanding the value of a customer, what you have, and what's the lifetime value of that customer. How do you translate that? Is it more expensive to get a new customer, or do I make more money if I can rehash and sell additional things to this customer?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
All of those things. But at the end of the day, the operational, the day-to-day marketing side of things especially, should really just be as simple as that. And the reason you want it as simple as that is because if it ain't working, you need to change it. Yep. And these people do these business plans, and they fall so in love with their own plans, man. They fall so in love with, I spent so long on this, and it's 32 pages, and it's got graphics on it, and I don't want to mess. No, dude. 1 page, in pen or in pencil even. Because if it's not working, you need to change it.
Find a new one.
You need to change it.
Like you always say, you're sitting here saying, budget and everything. Also, you tell people put more money into things that are working in times like this too, right? I think a lot of people, I've talked to multiple different partners on stuff, and everybody's like, we need to scale back on this.
Pull back on marketing budget. Yeah.
No, we are not pulling back. Yeah. And so with what you're saying about how you're pulling back on leads, you're not pulling back on leads. You're pulling back on the amount because you want better focus on stuff.
Because I want high, because it takes more follow-up now, and I don't want my agents distracted off the follow-up. It's not about pulling my foot off the marketing pedal. It's about I'm decreasing the spend to buy focus. That's what I'm doing.
Do you know what an interesting thing about this is? And I'm going to tie it into global affairs.
Okay.
China has a population problem. They have a very serious population problem. Not in the way maybe you think I'm saying. Their population is estimated to be by 2050 something like 600 million, and it's 1.4 billion right now.
Yeah,
and they don't have a replacement workforce, right? There are all these people that are aging out, and they're very old because they were the boom generation, but they're much older. They don't have a replacement workforce generation because in order to have a mature workforce, a 35-year-old, a 40-year-old in your workforce, you had to have them 40 years ago.
Yeah.
When they had a one-child policy.
Best time to plant a tree? 40 years ago.
40 years
best
ago.
time? Today.
But it's too late.
Yeah.
When you have population decline like that, you don't have replacement workforces, you have all these huge problems. Anyway, it was this brilliant guy. I can't remember his name. He had this whole breakdown on it. It was really intelligent. But that's the best time to have spent marketing dollars was last year.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So when people hit these times, they pull back. What they don't realize is they're creating a deficit for themselves in 5 years.
But this is also the best time to
keep going.
Well, I was going to say this is also best time to, if you want to adapt your business, right? You go after where maybe somebody had that foothold 4 years ago. They start pulling back. I mean, Eric Gorton's a perfect example. That guy's doing nothing but $1 million deals, and it was because everybody pulled their focus off of it, during the last crash, and he said, we're going all in, So I think there are so many times to pounce on stuff and bad. This is when wealth is created.
Yeah. Well, when you're looking at your individual P&L for your business, I ask myself, is this offensive money or defensive money? And offensive money is money that is spent to create revenue. So it's marketing dollars, it's incentives, it's bonuses, it's things that drive the engine, drive the sales. And then you have defensive money, which are things that service the sale. Service is what happens. If you have a reduction in sales because of outside forces, the first money you cut is defensive money. Always cut defense first, because the thing is, you can always go pick up defense later when the sales come back. You can pick it back up. Sometimes you need to realign what people are doing in that aspect. Like for example, I have people that manage this podcast, that manage video, that manage my social media, that do those things for me. I've reallocated that work now to somebody else on my team because their workflow has gone down.
Right.
So rather than continue to outsource and pay these other people, whatever I'm paying them a month, I can just move that workload over internally to keep someone moving.
Get the scalpel out
on me, which is why I love the outsource model. I love hiring people from Upwork and those things, because when you don't need them, you just cut them, and you don't have to worry about.
You don't have emotional ties to them.
There's no emotional ties to them, and they know the gig. They're freelancing from the other side of the world. When you need them, they're flexible. They can expand with you. You can pause them. They'll come right back. They don't care. There's no insurance. There's none of that stuff, which is great. It's a great way to scale and expand your business. It's also a good time I think this is a good time when things constrict like this. It's a good time to really take a look at your goals, analyze your thermostat. What I mean by that is, if you are someone that believes that you are capable of reaching a certain level of success, if this is your ceiling, if this is where you can go, and then outside forces now cut you down to here,
Yep.
well, you got a problem. So my advice is raise your thermostat, because now if you really start to believe you can reach here, even through a downturn, and the market chops you, you're going to be able to maintain where you were. And what I mean by that is, like, think about your house, man. Think about, like, what's your thermostat in your house set at? Where's it set at?
I would like it to be like 54. My wife has it set at like 99.
Oh God, but where is it? Where is it actually?
She says 75. I'm incredulous.
Oh God, 75. I would die. Where's yours, Colt?
69 to 71.
69 to 71.
She says 72 to 75, depending on the time, and it drives me nuts because I'm just like,
yeah, we're nighttime. We're 71 if we're in the room, 77 if we're gone. That's where we're at with it. But see, that's my comfort level. Everybody has a comfort level they get comfort with. If you want to survive and thrive during times of downturn, you wonder why people get rich during people do not get rich in boom times. They get rich in recessions. They get rich in construction because the smart, nimble people take advantage of the situation.
right.
So if you're somebody that is comfortable at a certain income level, you need to start thinking bigger. So ask yourself, like, for example, if you're in real estate, if you did 25 deals last year, ask yourself, what would it really take for me to do 100 right now? How can I get to 100 deals? And start asking yourself those questions, and you will see your possibilities open up, because it will open up the creative side of you, or better yet, it will begin a quest for information and knowledge, and you will find someone that's already doing it and model what they're doing. You can model that. But I think adjusting that thermostat and setting your goals bigger and higher is something that I think is important.
Yep. Yeah, no, and again, not to go back to that self-improvement thing I was pointing out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, are just spinning their wheels sometimes. You're in sales. What's your competitive advantage? Right? Well, take some night classes. Take an accounting class. Take a marketing class. Take a finance class. Like, go enroll in CSN. It's non-committal, or whatever your community college is. There's a lot of people out there that don't need to go to a university with academics and do whatever. Go enroll. I swear to God, everybody who goes to school, you know, ends up being appreciative of that process. For me, if I had to start right now, this would be a perfect time to go pursue a goal, right? Even if it's just part-time, even if it's just one night a week, 2 nights a week, take a night class.
Well, you got to find your wins where you can.
Yeah. And again, if you go and you take an economics class and all of a sudden you start understanding things formally, like supply and demand, you are going to be more valuable on whatever team you end up doing, whatever you're doing. I believe that
building skill sets
core of my ability, right? And you can do it online.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I mean, dude, the wealth of human knowledge is on YouTube.
I was just going to say, if you go, one thing every salesperson should do, go YouTube. Probably, I'm sure it's on there. I haven't looked, but FBI profiling, right? And watch how they profile people. Watch negotiation tactics.
Yeah,
like I watched a finance
Chris Voss.
A finance class.
Read his book,
from
Chris Voss's book,
UCLA the other day, like an economic finance class from UCLA. I'm like, cool. I'll sit there for 2 hours and watch that. Like you said, that's all on. I have to go spend $200.
But I still need to press back, because there are things that come up where you can say, "Oh, I'm college educated." Right? Or I have some of that. It's not the be all end all in this industry, but if you do that slowly, so let's say you take a couple night classes over the next period of a while, you may walk away with an associate's degree, and then maybe you go, okay, I can finish my bachelor's. This was the time to do it. This is the time to pursue some of those things maybe that are not going to help you sort of move forward in your business, but they will, because you'll be developing lateral skills and expertise. So then one day, let's say an MBA will differentiate you. Let's say you want to go get a commercial and you want to have an MBA and you want to get your CCIM or whatever. CCIM is a good time to start right now.
But I think here's the real point of that, which is this, and this is the sacrifice you got to make. Like, if I was to tell you, if I was your doctor and you came in and I said, Colt, oh man, it's not looking good. Not looking good, buddy. Not looking good. If you keep eating this pretzel bread, drinking old fashions, I'm gonna give you.
Does he even want to live?
I'm gonna give you 3 months if you stay on the old fashions and pretzel bread. Right? I'm gonna give you 3 months.
Man, we had great.
Does Colt stop with the pretzel bread and stop the old fashions? I think what says you?
Absolutely. Like here's the thing, right? Like this literally happened to me today. I sat around for 4 hours finding out if I had cancer or not, right? Oh. And so I get skin cancer. I've had bad skin cancer. Mm-hmm. My grandpa died from it. I love the sun. I love laying out at the pool. I love that stuff. Mm-hmm. But you guys see me when I'm in Cabo, I'm in the hoodie.
You're the Unabomber.
I'm a Unabomber. But and that's it, right? Like, if you want something bad enough, like if you look at this as life and death or whatever, you will go do it. I mean, if you're like, hey, go cold call.
The point I was trying to make is this: is the recession is your financial doctor, and it just served up some really shitty bad news. Mm-hmm. And you better change your diet. And what your diet is not necessarily, I'm going to talk about what goes in your mouth. I'm talking about what goes in your head, what goes in your ears. If you are sitting at home watching the Kardashians, I don't feel bad for you if you're broke. Mm-hmm. If you have downtime to watch nonsense, you need to reinvest that into anything that is going to help your skill set
100%.
To get better.
Couldn't agree more.
If it's like you watch that, what is it, the 600-pound life people or whatever, and you're like, oh, I don't know why I weigh 600 pounds because I eat 5 buckets of chicken today. No shit, you're 600 pounds. Sure. If you're sitting at home watching junk TV and you're broke, no shit.
Yep.
So the recession, Dr. Recession just gave you some bad news. Time to change the diet.
One of my buddies, he played college football. He was doing all these things. Very successful guy. And somebody was asking him, how can you get straight A's in college and play football and do whatever? And his thing was, how much time are you on Facebook a day?
Yeah.
You can be in shape by probably cutting out half of the amount of time people. If you look at your screen time, it's horrifying.
Insane. It's insane.
It's really horrifying, but it is what it is. So if you really want it, right, and improving your fitness is actually one of those things that's going to help you in all these things as well.
Yep.
Right. Like
we've said it, like no one wants to say it, but you get paid off of how you look, and not only that, you feel better about your self confidence. It's a snowball. It's like real estate. People are like, God, things are going good now. Well, yeah, now you have confidence. Things are rolling. Now you go out and go get stuff, right? Same thing with looking good. If you look good, you feel good. John's always preached that. Like, get out of the office if you look like crap.
Everybody wants to eat. Nobody wants to make the sausage. Yeah. That's kind of how it goes. But I was saying this morning, and again, with stuff like that, right? The language, how you talk to yourself is so important. And the words that you use when you talk to yourself is so important. And like, if you get up and you say, I have to, study my sales stuff. I have to go to the gym. I have to get on the treadmill. I have to do this. Yeah, that sucks. Because you know what you also have to do? Die and pay taxes. Yeah, maybe look at it as you get to. Yeah. I get to do this. If you have leads to call, man, be happy you do. You're not out banging doors, like trying to come up with anybody. You have a database of people you get to call. You get to work that.
Your legs work. You can go work out.
You get to do all of these things.
You ever hurt yourself?
Yeah.
You ever been sick?
Yeah.
What's the number one thing you promise you won't do ever again?
Drink.
Drink.
Drink. Which we did make that. November's got a whole new meaning for me.
When you have the flu and you feel like shit and you're in bed, all of a sudden you feel guilty about all the times that you felt good. That's me.
Yeah.
Every time I get injured, and I get injured a lot. I play basketball. I do jiu-jitsu. There's always injuries, right? Mm-hmm. I'm injured in like 3 spots now, but I'm hurt, I should say. Right. Injured is when you literally can't. Hurt is another thing. Yeah. I'm constantly hurt. Okay. Yeah. So whenever I feel good, I got to go use this body to go do a bunch of stuff because there'll be a time when I can't. Mm-hmm. So that to me is one of those I get to.
That's the conversation we had last week, which was time is ticking.
Time is ticking.
Always ticking.
It is. I told you about, I dated a girl, her dad had MS. Did I tell you this story? I mean, I'm like, sorry, I had to park freaking down in a different parking lot. It's like, God, aren't you lucky you got to walk that far?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ooh,
I firmly,
like, all right, cool.
I tell my wife this almost every day sometimes. I just go,
sorry?
No.
I'm really sorry.
It comes up all the time because I'm in a different profession. As an attorney, it's different because I'm paid to handle people's problems. As a broker, John, you've had to go through a lot of that too. Mm-hmm. And as a commercial agent, Colt, you have to constantly deal with people's problems. But I say to her, I have no personal problems. I have very, very few personal problems. Stuff comes up with parenting and life, but none of them are mine.
Yeah.
Right? All my problems are my clients, and I take them on, so I feel the pressure of it and the stress of trying to do a good job. But I oftentimes will sit there and look back and be thankful for how many problems I don't personally have.
Yeah.
I just have them all professionally. So let's say you're going through these hard times. Well, that's you're having a professional difficulty. But how if the rest of your life is
it's pretty good. Well, it's funny how the bleed over happens so quickly. How it goes over quick. And here's a great exercise that for example, I got a little bit of a funk on a Saturday right before going to Hofbrauhaus for the Oktoberfest thing. I was just kind of in a funk and I don't want to go. And she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, I'm having a lot of non-useful thoughts.
Sure.
That's what I said to her, because that was something that I heard that I really liked, which was when you have negative thoughts creep in your head, fear, uncertainty, doubt, whatever they are, ask yourself, is this thought useful to me? Now, if it's a useful thought that is genuinely protecting you in some way or causing you to take action that is positive, it is useful.
Yeah.
That is good. But so often, I don't remember which philosopher it was that said that we suffer more in our own minds than in reality.
Sure.
I think it was Epictetus that said that. But I was doing that. When things start to maybe go not the way you want, you start to suffer more in your own mind. You go from, man, my business is down, to, why didn't anybody invite me to a Halloween party this year? Like we didn't like, am I an asshole? Like, why didn't we get invited? Like literally, we were just talking about that and how funny, and your mind can kind of go places like, man, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I was invited to be in somebody's wedding. It's been like since I was like 20 years. Like, I know people that were like 20 weddings. Why was I never invited to be in a bunch of weddings? Am I an asshole? Like what? Like just
sure.
useless.
I look at that as a great.
I know. But yes, I
That's
agree.
Super Bowl, by the way.
I agree. But
no one invited me to a Halloween party.
I agree. But the point is, you start thinking these thoughts and take you to place because things can domino. And it's funny, like in this thought process, I'll share what it was. I'm thinking about that, and then I'm thinking, man, I haven't been invited to speak anywhere in a while. Like, nobody's invited me to go speak anywhere. And this time, I'm like, man, it's going. And literally within 24 hours of almost all of those things, we got invited to like fucking 4 parties. I got invited to a speaking gig. All of these nonsense, useless thoughts that were causing me to suffer more in my mind than in reality were proved to be completely unfounded. Right. So if you're, right now, man, to plan away, don't let the reality of a tough situation, which in some cases people are working tough situations right now. Don't let the reality, a real tough situation, bleed into a bunch of nonsense, because then you're going to spiral the wrong way. Right. And that's the opposite of what you said, where you just kind of need a win, man. You got to focus on your wins.
And you are not, there's no one that's not going to be affected negatively in this.
By the economy.
It's the problem is people continue that thought process instead of saying, all right, this is hurting over here, but I see opportunity over here, right? Yeah. And that's what, God, I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a guy, and I'm like, dude, I just rushed for lunch. It was just nothing but negativity. Oh, this, no money, no this, no that. And it's like, dude, I don't even. Are we laughing? What did I say? Did I say a fun joke?
No, I felt the need for some inappropriate laughter.
That's perfect.
That was a good time. I've got no money. My life is over. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and just, this is terrible.
Get away
my wife left me
like
and my dog died.
But you got to get away from people like that. You got to find people that's got dad jokes.
Sorry.
I hate you guys all. I hate you all. You really think the flay's the best part of the cow, huh, Chris?
As the plate, I derailed the podcast.
Nice job. Nice job.
Yeah, see how it feels now when this happens?
That's wonderful.
I love it. Let's talk about the best dad joke ever. No, but honestly, I think everybody's going to be affected negatively. And so many people will sit there and just harp on it. I feel like that's all I've heard for the last month and a half is how things are so bad. It's like, cool, like, great. Let's find an opportunity to make money.
To quote Jim Cramer, though, bulls make money, bears make money.
Dude, God.
There's an opportunity.
Don't do anything that guy does.
No, but, well, hold on. So Jim Cramer, Kramer Berkowitz, was a very successful head coach trainer. He is a Harvard-trained lawyer that just traded on the side. Like, he's really smart.
You understand there's now a fund that does nothing but go against money trades.
Oh, again, I don't follow him, and
they just whatever he says to buy, they go short.
Yeah, he used to be.
Everything he buys.
He's old, you know. Well, but anyway, aside from that,
He's the Nickelback.
He's like
the Nickelback.
John's age.
No, right? No, he's the Nickelback.
Kramer's old.
he's in his 70s.
Yeah, he's the Nickelback of financial advisors.
Yeah, no, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying is there's always an opportunity to make money in your industry. Now, again, as a lawyer, I'm a bit spoiled. Because when the world goes to shit, I can start taking up divorces. I can do bankruptcies. I can do insolvencies. I can do probates. I can do all this stuff.
Yeah, which we talked about earlier, buying stocks, man. I buy the Vice stocks when times get hard.
But again, no, but maybe it's time for
Buy
something
cheap
in
booze
your
stocks,
business.
buy the cigarette stocks.
Figure out how to become an expert in foreclosures. Figure out how to start
short sale.
whatever.
No, because we're not. The wave of foreclosures people think is coming is not coming. Believe me, let me be the first one to tell you that ain't happening. I wish it would happen.
In general, though, there's
not
something
for terrible people, but
I agree.
that's not 2008 ain't coming back.
But whatever those
2007,
skill sets are around, those are just for instances.
No. It's back to basics, man. It's back to basics is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it's so funny, man. I've been preaching, in my coaching group, because I coach them every day, and really got them back to basics of tracking the interactions they have with their sphere and having it as a methodical interactive, staying in front of them, staying top of mind. So when somebody does say, I need to buy a house, you call my buddy. They're just staying top of mind is so key to what we do. And you have to work it methodically. And it's the simplest thing to do. It is the easiest thing to do, but yet people just don't do it. And they all want like a magic bullet. So when we laid that out and we're talking about that, like I do a lot of, like there's the canned videos that we shoot in here that are like the coaching stuff, but then I also drop in on my groups like live and stuff. We have Zooms, but I post a lot from my treadmill, like just the daily motivational stuff I post from my treadmill. And the other day I was on the treadmill and I said, are these videos of me on the treadmill getting monotonous? Are they seeming monotonous now? Because you see me always here. It should be monotonous because the magic is in the monotony.
Yep.
That is the magic.
Yeah,
right?
95% of the work is done behind the scenes. You'll never see. Yeah.
The magic is in the monotony, and don't let the monotony be the enemy of enthusiasm, which so many people are. You've got to fall in love with that process. You've got to enjoy reaching out to your clients. You've got to enjoy staying in front of them. You got to enjoy those relationships. If you're someone that does not do that, you're probably gonna have a tough time.
Well, and I think that a lot of people, especially in our industry, they don't treat it like a 9-to-5 job, right?
No.
Where if you treat it like, hey, at this time, if you went to a corporate job, your days are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And you need to treat that lead generation, contacting sphere of influences, making new, you've got to continuously treat it like a job. Or if you're out there one day doing this or golfing, whatever, it's. Yeah.
All of a sudden, the cover sheets and your TPS reports aren't matching.
Well, we all worked in corporate America for some time until, look, if you're an entrepreneur, I call myself chronically unemployable. I'm not built to work for anybody else. That's not how I can do it. But I think all entrepreneurs have that. Like, because you just see the saddest stuff happen. Like, what's the saddest thing you ever saw in corporate America, Colt? It just made you sad. Yeah, it just made you sad. What was it?
Just people sitting there being a slave to a job, right?
Sorry,
saw a guy get killed once out of thing.
I just was baiting you. He's the cover.
No, everything's positive with me and happy, guys.
That was it.
You don't want to know mine. So
that was it. Well,
why? What's yours?
No, we don't want to know.
You don't want to know because I was an EMT once.
Yeah, we don't want to know.
That's legitimate tragedy.
I think I want to wrap this up today with talking about goals and especially goal setting, especially in real estate, is hard. And I'm just going to talk to real estate people here because, real estate people, if you're listening to this is for you, right? When you set goals, you need to set goals in real estate based on openings, not on closings. And the reason that I say to do that, even though you only get paid when the deal closes, you need to set them on openings, not closes. And the reason I say to do that is real estate is a long sale. It's a slow moving ship. If you're in another industry, you sell something that's slow moving, do it the same way. Because if you're like, I want to do 50,000 this quarter or 100,000 this quarter. Well, if there's 30 days left in the quarter and you know that it takes 45 days to close a sale, you're going to give up on your goal right there.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
I can't do it. I missed it, so I can't hit it. That's it. But if your goal is to open a deal, you can work that till 11:59 of the last day. So make sure your goals are not set up to hurt you.
Yeah, it's good. Set yourself up to win psychologically, emotionally.
Understand how to play the game.
Understand yourself. Understand how you work too, right?
Yeah.
Understand, like, this is why I was saying hire a personal trainer. Yeah. I like enrolling in college because part of it is being held accountable. And like I said, people are so afraid of stuff. Take a night class, hire a trainer, join a group, join a jogging group. Be accountable to others.
But you don't even have to do that. You don't have to
too.
do that. All you have to do is find another human being that does the same thing you do to be accountable to.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's it.
But again, for some people,
you don't have to pay anybody. You just got to find somebody to just.
Yeah, but a lot of these things are free. I was saying, like, there's groups, there's whatever. Yeah. Find a jogging partner that you hold each other accountable. Yep. I started going into jiu-jitsu now half hour early because another guy in the gym, he wants to drill and do extra stuff and work on it. And that's kind of my favorite stuff when it's just, you just go roll now. So I'm going to get an extra half hour in every jiu-jitsu session with somebody else that's like-minded, who's like a similar size. So we can, like, you know, you can't be doing necessarily stuff with guys who are 5'5".
Yeah.
I got to find a guy who's 6'3", you know.
Colt's
6'2".
minimum for guys to do stuff with us, 5'10".
I've been wanting to. No, Chris keeps looking at me and I'm smiling because I've got so many comments I want to throw out.
But anyway,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Bunch of children. But no, find somebody who's like-minded, and it's a free thing. So you go in, and there's just a million things you can do, but find out what it takes to hold yourself accountable. Just blindly commit to it and see if it works.
Like you said, you got to know yourself.
Yep. You got to know what motivates you. Me personally, I need another thing. I will kind of lay through the alarm on the gym days where my trainer, you know, I'm no trainer today. I find myself, those are the days when I'm like, oh, you know, I'll make up for it later.
Yeah.
Then later comes around. It's like, I'll just, you know, whatever, Friday, you know, I'll write it off. But if I hold myself accountable and there's someone there to meet me and I set myself up that I have to do it, then that to me is functioning.
You know, it's funny, man, that you know that it's your accountability meter is really kicked in when something bothers you.
Yep.
And I'll give you an example. So there's, you know, I lift 4 days a week, and there was one exercise that I was doing, and I had a conference call. So I did most of my workout. I got it all done except for one little exercise on the back. Right. It was just a stupid little thing that I had to just do on the bench. And I was. This is a bench, and I never got back to it. I just forgot, and I hadn't thought about it until about 2 hours ago.
Like my gains.
No, I was sitting at my desk, and I was like, this is like 3 weeks ago, and it just popped in my head. I was like, oh my God, I never did that exercise after that day, and I marked that I did it. So I'm like,
a liar.
But I can't wait to get home. Just to do that one little stupid exercise, just because I said that I did it.
Yeah,
and it bothers me.
That might mean a lot too. There's a lot of people that don't really give a shit what they say they're going to do. They don't really care if they don't do it. Me, I do. That's part of my motivation. Is I do what I say I'm going to do.
Well, because repetition becomes habit.
Yeah,
habit becomes accountable.
It becomes lifestyle. It becomes permanent.
Show me your habits, I'll show you a future. So. Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up there. But another solid
you're using
week.
your workout machine, because that took me forever to put together.
You know what?
I got drunk putting that shit together. I'm shocked that
hasn't fallen. What were we drinking?
Sangria.
It's like, how many
box
sangria?
Those things are serious.
Yeah,
sangria.
Yeah, I put together I got a Smith rack in my gym at my house.
So did mine.
Yeah, Smith rack, and then we have, but the other stuff, most of it was just delivered.
No joke.
Put together.
No joke. Yeah, no, we put it together. It was not easy. It took all day. Anyway, it's done. All right, guys. Well, hope you liked today. If you did, if you're watching us on YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a 4-star review and whatever podcast thing, Max Star, whatever it is you listen to. Every little bit helps. And yeah, man, if you're going to keep moving, you might as well move forward. See you next time, guys. Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com. where we'll share any links things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout.